Hey, you're into today. I like that. Oh, man.
We are back.
We're back. Long weekend vibes. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday. I almost said Monday.
Welcome back to Link in Bio. I'm Alejandro.
And I'm Jenny, just in case you forgot.
And don't you forget it.
Don't you forget.
Sister, how was your weekend?
It was good. We actually went to Carne Asada Fest in Dallas, Texas. Dude, it was so much fun. The weather was a little crazy. There was a tornado like an hour away, and sadly it did kill 7 people. Yeah, it was very it was scary, but I didn't know that till after.
Oh, so the tornado wasn't there when you were there?
Yeah, it was there when I was there. I just had no clue.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm glad that you're here safe. But yeah, I'm like, well, I didn't expect that, sister. It was good. I didn't do anything crazy. No tornadoes out here in SoCal, just a little cloudy. We had a carne asada on Sunday.
Nice.
Speaking of carne asadas.
And Izzy's ears got pierced.
Oh, yeah, she got her ears pierced. She's like, ah! And now, sorry about that, guys. You know us. But we have a bunch of crazy stories because apparently it's 420 right now. It's 420 somewhere, right? At least that's what's happening because apparently people are smoking more now than drinking.
Oh, wow.
And an indie filmmaker goes from Mexico to the Chinese theater.
That is awesome. That's huge.
Yeah.
And lastly, bulking up with Anahi F Rosales, because your girl has been wanting to learn how to lift weights. And I'm super stoked for that. So let's get into it.
Let's go. Sorry, I don't
want to go too loud. LFG. For the first time, the number of Americans who use marijuana just about every day has surpassed the number of Americans who drink daily.
In 2022, an estimated 17.7 million people reported that they use marijuana daily compared to 14.7 million people who drink daily.
I mean, all in moderation. De vez en cuando, not every day.
No, yeah.
I don't know how people do it. I can't function.
When you smoke?
Dude, I get weird.
Well, no, look. When I was smoking, I'd have to make sure that I didn't have any plans. Porque ya sé que igual como like, once I was fried, I'm fried. You know, like, I'm out.
No, brother. There was one time where I had my hands here, and I had my hands here, but it felt like I had my hands here, but it still felt like I had my hands here. It was weird. I was like, what the fuck? I can't function. How do people do it every day? Like, I don't understand.
No, yeah.
Like, it was so weird.
That like smoke and they come back and like do whatever. I'm like,
yeah.
You do you, bro, because I can't.
They're probably used to it then.
But just keep in mind that although these numbers are crazy, like, in terms of like the smoking to drinking, that marijuana is still illegal at the federal level. So, I mean, there's still like that stigma of people, hitting the Benjamin or smoking the devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce.
So, I don't know. It's just interesting because, again, it's like, which one's worse than the other? I feel like that's what it is.
I mean, I prefer drinking, brother. I feel like I'm in my all senses when I drink, mostly, in moderation, of course. But dude, one time I ripped a $20 bill and threw it away because I thought it was a receipt.
Well, look.
When I was,
the thing is
when I was so high, I did that.
I'm not condoning smoking.
But anywho, I just can't function. But I don't know how people do it.
No, look, it's because like not that I'm like a crazy smoker or anything. I used to smoke, whatever. Point is that like you kind of like it's like drinking. You get that like tolerance, like you're what is it? You're lightweight.
Yeah.
And so you kind of te acomodas. You know your level. You're like, okay, cool, 2 hits and I'm good.
That's true.
I'm cruising.
And you're not supposed to hold it in, supposedly. No sé. We're getting
I don't know.
Are you? I don't know.
Let's bring in the Edwin Sparks guy again.
We gotta get in Edwin Sparks again, también. Yeah. But anywho, that's crazy. The Costa Rican government has closed its state zoos.
Wait, the zoo with the Fruit Loop bird? Well, I don't know, dude. It was in there. But anyways, Costa Rica signed a law to ban all state zoos in 2014, but a contract kept 2 zoos open for the last decade.
Now the country closed the remaining zoos, so more than 400 animals are free. So this is a good thing, brother.
I'm not advocating for zoos, but don't some zoos kind of like rehabilitate animals and
this
like it's a good
true.
But anyways,
this is true.
So the animals include jaguars, crocodiles, and spider monkeys that are being taken to a rescue center. Oh, okay, that's good. So the caretakers will evaluate whether they can be released into the wild or taken to a sanctuary. and some of them have been in captivity for 30 years.
Wow. This law does not apply to Costa Rica's 18 private zoos, which remain open.
So they closed the public zoos, but not the private zoos?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some progress there, I guess.
Brother, did you know Colombia has a hippo problem because of Pablo Escobar's private zoo?
Well, like they were like doing the, yeah.
So he illegally imported kangaroos, zebras, hippos, and more. And now Colombia has more than 200 hippos, which sometimes attack people.
What the fuck? You're walking around Colombia.
So they got hungry hippos in Colombia.
And it's all because of Pablo. Not fool, ya ni está el güey. They just kind of did whatever they had to do.
Hashtag life of Pablo.
We have more. So El Chapo admitted to having a private zoo, including a train that took guests to see crocodiles and panthers. So yeah, but it's like you said, it's like all these a train. Homeboy had money.
His own theme park.
I guess, but it's like crazy because again, he got the kangaroos, zebras, hippos, like all these animals that need, I'm sure, special attention and care. Pero ese güey como si nada, like, no, yo quiero un canguro.
Hashtag Chapolandia.
Chapolandia.
And speaking of Mexico, wealthy people often have exotic animals on their ranchos, like lions, tigers, bears, and police raids have caught narcos with giraffe, camels, and even elephants. Talk about the elephant in the room, brother. It's seen as a symbol of power.
Well, no, yeah, I've seen
tigre.
I've seen people post with their tigers, and I'm like, yo, that looks badass. Like that's why you'd be like, oh shit, he has a tiger.
Tiene tigre. Es tigre, tiene tigre. But
Costa Rica's, it's a step in the right direction, but I hope they keep,
direction. Yes.
Anyways.
Louisiana has classified the abortion pill as a controlled dangerous substance. The state has classified 2 abortion pills, misoprostol and mifepristone, hopefully I pronounced those right, in the same category as addictive drugs like opioids.
All jokes aside, I'm glad that you had to do that because I was like, Google, how do you say this? But anyways, this makes possession of the pill without a prescription a crime and is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. However, pregnant women cannot be prosecuted. So it sounds like it's more of like making the pills difficult to access and, citing fear amongst providers.
So Louisiana already has a near total ban on abortions. Even in cases of rape or incest, abortion providers can be jailed for 15 years.
It's crazy because, again, remember back in March, like these abortion pills were making the news because, was it Walgreens and CVS were going to start selling them?
Yeah.
But now it's, again, more fear of people trying to access them. It's like, porque sí, porque no.
Yeah, they're trying to come through all like sides to like stop them. But I mean, it's crazy. So we'll see what updates we have in the next few months. Yo, we are here with Andres Taboada, guys. Woo! So he took a micro-budget film called Alta California from U.S. to Mexico, all the way to the Chinese theater for its premiere. And that is huge. That's big.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it is actually. I can't believe it. I mean, we shot this movie for nothing really. Our budget was $5,000 to shoot it. Wow. And then we spent $5,000 more in post-production. We shot it in 2 weeks back in 2018, and 5 years later, we made a feature film, and yeah, we can't believe it.
That's so cool. And did you choose this story to be your debut feature?
So there's this thing called, the available resources filmmaking, right? So I found this place in La Misión. My family and I spent Thanksgiving there 1 year, and I just fell in love with this little town. And it's a small border town near the US-Mexico border. And even though it's just an hour away from the US, it's so foreign and different. Because it's close to the border, of course, myself, I'm a former undocumented immigrant, so it is a very personal story, very autobiographical. I just thought I couldn't ignore the fact that it is so close to the border. I couldn't make it just about the town. And so it all came together, became more about my story, until about the story about me and my family. And then finding my lead actor, Alejandro La Torre, who's right there behind us. That's our lead actor, and he is from Mexico. And then the story became, I was really intrigued by a Mexican kid going back to Mexico and being a foreigner in his own country as well. So that's how the story kind of evolved. Yeah.
And did you expect it to, go to the Chinese theater to get the attention that it's gotten?
Definitely not. I mean, again, this journey started so long ago. For 5 years, I didn't know if I would ever even have a movie, to be honest. We started submitting to festivals, and just as part of the process, you get a lot of rejections. Yeah. We got 24 rejections in total. So it's just, that's what it is, Yeah. But then when we did get into a festival, we did really well. So we actually got the award for Best Directorial Debut at the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. It's a lot of ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
Rejection after rejection, and then you get into a festival and they fly you out, they put you up, and you get an award. I mean, it's been a lot of that.
Definitely.
So lots of ups and downs, and this is the biggest break we've ever gotten. I mean, to play at the Chinese theater, it's
huge.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard something wild happened to you and the crew in Baja.
Yeah, so we're there, and I think I got really comfortable because, we have permits, so we're cool. And maybe I got a little too comfortable. So on our second to last day, this guy comes out of nowhere and points a gun at my chest. And he says, what if I were to tell you that I really like your camera? And I said, you can take it, man. It's good. We're good. And then he says, just kidding. And he walked away. So it was just a prank, super funny. He got me so good.
Oh
and
my God.
Yeah, he freaked me out so bad. But that was the second to last day.
Something like that happened to me too, but
really?
they ended up stealing my phone. It was crazy.
Yeah, no,
I was like, no way, the same thing happened to me.
I know. Oh my goodness. Down in Baja as well?
No, not in Baja.
Okay.
In Linwood. They got a knife.
There you go. See, that's the thing. People are scared of Baja, but seriously,
Like,
it
no,
can happen.
the US.
Yeah. I kept my camera.
Yeah. No, they stole my phone, and they were so polite. They were like, "Oh, I like
really?
your phone." I'm like,
wow.
"Oh, thank you." And I look up, I'm like, "Oh," and then he had a knife.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm like, "Oh my God!" And he goes, "Can I have it?"
Yeah,
and he's
there
like,
you go.
"Thank you."
Wow.
And he walks away,
So
and I'm
polite.
just
Yeah. Mine had a huge gun, but so yeah, it was definitely scary.
Typical Latinos.
Or like maybe we were like just stupid tourists or something. I mean, I get it, I guess. And then after that, I was just really freaked out.
Wow.
Yeah, we drove through the desert after that. It was a flash flood, but we finally made it to San Felipe, which is where that was shot.
Yes, it's
and
beautiful there.
and then we finished the movie. Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so
Oh my
much.
God, that's
Thank
huge.
you.
And also, when is the premiere?
So the premiere, the Chinese theater is on Saturday, June 22nd at 7:15 p.m. So they give us an amazing time slot, like amazing.
And will people be able to watch it like later on?
Oh, definitely. I mean, our plan is to definitely distribute online in the future.
Okay.
But of course, that's what you go to these festivals for, to see what
Yeah.
can happen and what you can get distribution-wise. But no matter what, we will definitely put this movie out there for people to watch. I mean, we have to.
Well, you have our support.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. Let's give him another round of applause, guys. Awesome.
We know how ruthless cartels can be, but now tortillerías and other local businesses are being forced to comply with the cartel's demands.
So here to explain this alarming situation is Mary Beth Sheridan from the Washington Post. Hello, Mary Beth. Welcome.
Hello, nice to be with you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, so I'll kick it off here.
Yeah, go ahead and kick
So
it off.
I'm curious, why are cartels picking on local businesses and not rival gangs or other cartels?
There's been a real change in how cartels operate in Mexico. It used to be a handful of really big organizations. Think of like El Chapo Guzman, that kind of thing, right? And they would move drugs to the US, cocaine, heroin, and so on. But really what's happened is there's still a couple big groups, but a lot of the crime groups have splintered. There's now hundreds of groups, and a lot of them need to make money, and they can't actually, they don't have the size to, move drugs. So what they really are doing is turning on local Mexican communities, and tortilla shops are one of the real signs of this, that they're demanding protection money. And if people don't pay, they burn down the shops or they shoot the entrances. And this is happening, you see it a lot with tortilla shops, but also with all kinds of small, chicken vendors, butchers. And it's becoming like a mass phenomenon in Mexico.
So how are these people reacting to this extortion?
There's so much fear that I would say in general, most people are just terrified to talk about it because they don't want their shop to be attacked or their family members to be beaten up or whatever it is. So tortilla shops in a city called Cuautla in Morelos, they're having to pay protection money of like $3,000 in order to be able to stay open. And then they have to pay after that another, $500 or so a month. So it's really, people are often so afraid to denounce. So you don't see a lot of cases in the judicial system, but business groups, I would say religious leaders, and others just tell you it's incredibly widespread.
I can actually second this personally because actually my dad has a friend who decided to start a business in Jalisco. And supposedly he put up his business and they actually went to his business and they said, okay, so you started your business. So this is the amount of money that we're collecting from you. So this percentage of your sales is going to go to us. And that's that. So my dad's friend actually, he didn't want to be involved with that. So he ended up coming back to the US and closing shop. It is scary. This is actually happening.
Oh yeah, it's real life.
Yeah, this is real life.
And what are the economical effects that this cartel tax is having on Mexico's economy?
It's really remarkable. So it's very hard to get data. One point we did find was extortion is really widespread in agriculture. And there's an economist at the UNAM, the Mexican university, who has done really careful work on this. And he said that, for example, with agricultural products, fruits and vegetables, like last year, the inflation for those products was around 6%. And like a quarter of it was extortion. So if you think about the massive size of the agricultural economy in Mexico, like we're just talking about, hundreds of millions of dollars. And then we tried to also look at other ways in which the crime economy is spreading. And you see things like, a third of the oil and gas sold in Mexico now is illegal, right? It's controlled by crime groups. If you think about the traditional drug groups they estimate around $12 billion a year. If you add up these other illegal businesses, it could be almost as big as that. And where you're beginning to see more and more of the spillover effects is, for example, we're having elections in Mexico. And in the lead up to the election, it's been so violent. So many candidates have been killed. So many have been threatened. I mean, hundreds have dropped out of the races. And it's because these crime groups really want to control the mayor and the police chief. And another thing you do see is more and more people who are heading to the U.S. border, trying to flee because they feel like they can no longer stay in their communities.
Are the police or government trying to interfere in any way?
Yeah, it's a crime that really largely goes unpunished. I think in many cases, these crime groups try to control the police. Under the current government, they've cut back on money for local police. They've invested more in a National Guard. So prosecutors tell me it's really hard because you need the cops that are kind of on the beat, walking around. Those are the ones that can more effectively stop extortion. But we don't really see much of that.
Well, thank you so much, Mary Beth. We really appreciate you being on the show and telling us what exactly is going on, because before, back in the day, it used to be like, oh, well, just don't get involved and it'll be fine. Just don't get involved with them and you're good. But now they're going after innocent people, and more and more. Mm-hmm. So that's what's scary. So thank you so much for breaking it down for us.
So Mary Beth, where can people find you on social or any of your work?
Sure. I'm on Twitter at Mary B. Sheridan, or you can find my stories on the Washington Post site, washingtonpost.com. I hope very much you'll read the story and find it interesting.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you again, Mary Beth.
Take care.
Thank you.
Brother, I've been hitting the gym like on the regular. You see me with my little gym bag, ready to go after work. But all I know how to do is like hit the elliptical, the treadmill, and the Stairmaster. Like I legit want to learn how to properly lift weights because like I want to build muscle.
Why don't you, sister? I mean, that's more than I do. I mean, so like, why don't you do the lifts, the weights?
I feel like maybe people at the gym, might look at me, judge me, and be like, what the hell is she doing? That's not how you do it. No sé, maybe I'm getting my own head about it.
I think so, because I'm sure there's people that would be down to help you. And I know there's a lot of influencers now that go hard on that. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like,
we've had some on the show también. You're right.
Well, sister, you know what? I got you. Because today we have professional bodybuilder and online fitness coach Anahi Rosales to give us her wisdom on weightlifting and bodybuilding.
Nice.
Hi, Anahi.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, since we have you here, did your family ever bring up like, oh, like, you know, yeah, get healthy, but don't look too manly? Like, because I know that's how it is on, like, it's like, but it's good to build muscle, ¿verdad?
Absolutely. Definitely super important to build muscle above everything else, even just like, or, just the physique of itself.
Yes.
Most people now want to get in shape per se, or want to look a certain way, but really it's just super important to have muscle in general, because as we get older, our bodies get weaker. I just want to be able to move and keep up with my kids, and so muscle is absolutely super important, and something that women shouldn't fear, because I was hearing you just a moment ago, and you definitely shouldn't fear it at all, especially kind of looking a specific way, because I know that's one of the biggest misconceptions of even starting to build a muscle is, am I going to get too big or too bulky, and that's a huge misconception, because it takes a lot of work to get to that point. It took me a long time and a lot of work and a very different type of work to get to where I was at a pro level. So that's not, the expectation out of anybody who's just in it for lifestyle or for health.
And I know it's a lot about discipline, right? Like, it's a lot of like on your mindset.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've coached hundreds of clients. And the one thing I tell them all the time, because one of the biggest things is, coach, how do I find the motivation? And it's like, well, the motivation doesn't exist. In the beginning, you're super motivated. You're just like, I'll do anything. I'll run a mile a day. Like, you start going through all these crazy scenarios in your head of what you have to do and what's expected of you. And you're so sure you're going to do it. But then you're about 2-3 weeks in and you start burning out. The motivation's gone, And so what I tell most people is, you got to rely on your discipline.
Oh, yeah. And you touched on a few things that I actually wanted to ask about. So, like, what do you say to people who say that they don't have the time to work out? I know you're a mom. You do like a bunch of content like about the mom life and the kids, and then also, the gym life. So how do you balance all that? Like, how do you find the time?
With most of my clients, I just say, hey, if you can give me 3 days a week, just 3 days. And the way to get it done is to make sure you schedule it into your day, just like your job is scheduled into your day. Because you show up for your job. Why? Because it's scheduled and you have to be there. It's a priority. So if you do that with your workouts, whether it be before work or after work, I promise you, everything will change. It's incredible what it can do for you.
Like you said, you make time for work, so make time for yourself. Like, that's so true. Yeah,
definitely. I love that too. Like, I'm gonna start telling myself that too.
It's a priority. Just like making money is a priority. Getting healthy should be a priority too. And you make time to make money, so you should make time to get healthy.
Most definitely. What's something that for me, it's the enjoyment of it, like going to the gym. Like I know some people are very like, oh my God, I can't wait to go to the gym. I'm like, how do you get there? Like make it something that's like super enjoyable. Like what's something that you're like, that you look forward to?
I love being in the gym because I get to throw on music in my ear and I jam the heck out. Yeah. I mean, for me, the biggest tip is just finding what you enjoy the most. Like I would say, a lot of these gyms offer a lot of different types of classes. So they have classes where you can weightlift for those, especially for beginners who don't know what they're doing, If you try any of those and you find the right instructor that plays the type of music you like, that motivates you the way you need it, because every instructor is very different. But I would say that's a really good way to start off to get motivated to actually show up, is to find what you like in the gym.
What advice would you give to girls like me who are just starting to like dabble into like lifting weights?
Look for a good program that you can follow. There's a lot of coaches out there, especially online, You want to find somebody credible, of course. But look for a workout program that you can actually follow. Because if you walk into the gym and you have no clue what you're doing, you're kind of just going to walk around, you're going to look lost, and you're going to absolutely feel a little intimidated. And then you're going to take off because you're like, I'm good. But if you have a plan to follow, 6 different exercises you have to hit, and you know how many reps, how many sets you're going to do, which machines to walk to, then you don't feel so out of place. As long as you have a plan, you're going to stick to it. Now, if you don't stick to it, then that's you being a slacker.
This is
But,
true.
you know.
You're right. I need to be more disciplined. That's my thing. But thank you so much, Anahi. We really appreciate you coming on the show and just talking to us more about this. Especially, thank you from me also, because this is like very, very helpful to me.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
And where can people find you on social? I mean, we know, but where can people, just so.
So I have an Instagram account, and that account is @followherfitness. And then I also have a TikTok account, and that one is I'm a cool mom duh.
Yes. Take care.
Thank you all. I appreciate you. Take care.
Likewise. Bye.
Yeah, like that was such a good episode. Like I feel like I learned so much from Anahi.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, I'm gonna fucking discipline my ass. Like my life depends on it.
I know, she was spitting facts, dude.
Yeah, dude. I just want to feel comfortable in my own skin. I want to have more energy, feel healthier. Like, yeah, dude, she was spitting facts. But anywho, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us today on Link in Bio. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Alejandro. And we'll see you guys soon.
Yes, we'll see you guys soon.
All right, cool. Bye.
Bye.